Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and it's summertime. And it's time for really cool things to do in this community, and the arts are a very big part of that. And I have with me today Gary Smith with Ensemble Stage. Before we explain your wonderful summer series, let's briefly explain who is an Ensemble Stage.
Well, we're professional theater. We do our shows in Blowing Rock, North Carolina at the old school, Blowing Rock School Auditorium. They're on Sunset Drive right across the street from Mellow Mushroom and Ragged Gardens. It's a wonderful little space. It's been around for a long time, and it's got 220 seats, I think.
Very intimate.
It's really intimate, and we've been doing, along with the Blowing Rock PTO, who's kind of been spearheading it, we've been doing a lot of renovation to the place. We've got new tech booths in there that have been installed instead of being there in those towers there on the sides. And you know, the plans are to have a fresh coat of paint on all the walls, and we're going to put, eventually there's going to be some drapery along the sides of the walls, and those two bathrooms that are there in the back of the auditorium. Those were awful. Yeah. They've been closed for a couple of years now, but we're going to convert one of those into a concession area and the other one into a ticket area.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah. So lots of changes coming, and we're glad that we're able to help them with that, and you know, it'll make for, it's always, doing theater isn't necessarily about the space you're in, but it's always nice to have it more comfortable for your guests.
And that's what partnership's about.
Exactly.
And that's what you and the school system are doing, is you're sharing a space, so therefore you're sharing the load of making that space appealing.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say we're sharing the space. So I always make it very clear to people that it is the school space.
Absolutely.
And we're just incredibly grateful that they let us do our thing there, and you know, because without them, we wouldn't have a space.
That's for sure.
So we're always very aware that it is the school space, and they're just graciously allowing us to be there.
Well, it's wonderful, and it also helps people to feel comfortable in that environment, in that school environment as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a win-win.
And it's great. I mean, with our partnership with them, we're able to help them with the renovation and I wouldn't even call it renovation. We're not tearing down walls or anything, but just giving it a facelift basically is what we're doing. And because the kids in the school use that auditorium, and the classes use them for presentations and graduation, so it's nice to be able to help them out. It makes the space not only nice for us, but when the kids have their events, it'll make it nice for them and their parents.
Well, and Blowing Rock is the only elementary school in our system that has an auditorium space.
Exactly.
And it's a rare gift
to
have.
It really is. And it's been a process too. I mean, over the past, we started back in October 2009, and one of the first things we did is there used to be a canopy over that entryway, and it was. But all there was a frame there for a number of years. Yeah. And so Ensemble Stage paid to have that canopy put in so people can get out of the weather and things like that. And then the next year we along with the PTO, did a big cleanup and spruce up of the front area, and Ensemble Stage planted I think 400 bulbs in there. And so, and so it's, like I said, the partnership with the PTO and the school itself has just been wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, Ensemble Stage is how old?
We started in October of 2009, so whatever
new.
that is, it's too early for me to add. Yeah.
In the language of theater, that's new.
yeah, exactly.
So now, Blowing Rock is known as if anyone doesn't already know this, it's a wonderful community to go and, especially in the summer months, to kind of saunter around all of downtown, eat and shop and visit. It's just such a neat environment. And I think just a wonderful addition to that environment is to be able to go and enjoy a wonderful theater production as part of your evening.
And we have so many comments from people that it's nice. They don't have to get into a car and go anywhere. They could literally spend from early morning when they first get up until they go to bed at night without getting into a car, because there's everything to do there. There's all the neat little shops and specialty places, and the beautiful park that's there, and you can, and nice restaurants are there, and so. And then you have theater that's right there within walking distance of downtown.
Sounds utopic.
It really is. I mean, I love our little community, and I fell in love with it back in 2001 when I first came up here, and I made it my mission to eventually live here, and I've been living up in Blowing Rock since about 2006, I guess it was.
Living your
And
dream.
it really is. It really is. And the funny thing is when people talk to me, it's like, you could, if you don't watch the news, you would just, all the cares and troubles of the world would go away, because they don't have those.
Try that.
I'll tell you what, because you walk up there and you are living in Norman Rockwell painting.
And then you go to a theater production, and that's another whole world.
Oh, yeah,
and so,
yeah.
You escape reality yet another
We have
way.
many continents in Blowing Rock. Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about, you've got a series planned for this summer.
Yeah,
So there
our
are
summer main stage
opportunities
season.
all over the place for people to enjoy really cool theater.
Oh yeah.
So-
We've got 4 main stage shows, and then we're also doing some Saturday Kids Series theater the professor at ASU, Derek Gagne, he's going to be kind of spearheading that, and we're also doing a game show on June 30th, Minute to Win It, that is always really popular. We've done that a couple of times, and it's real popular. But right now we're getting ready and gearing up for our summer main stage season.
Cranking it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we cranking up? What's cooking?
Well, our very first show it's such a wonderful. We pick our shows over the winter months. We have play readings, and the public's welcome to come in. It's free. They could either, read as a character, or they could just sit back and listen to the plays. And we read through these plays, and then we get everybody's opinion, and of course we have to take into account logistics on our end.
Right.
But that's how we pick our season. Isn't just me sitting down going, these are the shows I want to do. We genuinely get feedback on all of our shows before we put them back in.
I've never thought about that process. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean that's one of our biggest parts of our mission is to get people involved as much as they can be and as much as they want to be.
And then you get buy-in into the productions.
Yeah, exactly. And especially, like I said, with the play readings, I mean, theater should be accessible. And even if you don't have a penny, you could be a part of theater by being a part of those play readings, because it doesn't cost a cent.
That's wonderful.
And anyway, that's how we pick our shows. And can you tell I go off on tangents a lot? But our very first show is a wonderful story called Moon Over the Brewery. And I know
that sounds interesting.
But and basically the title is based upon one of the characters paints, and all of her paintings are always moonscapes. So one of her paintings is Moon Over the Brewery, and she titles all of her paintings, Moon Over the willow tree and whatever. Yeah, because everybody, well, what's the brewery? What's doing it? But there is no brewery, and the great thing about it is one of the things that I thought was really interesting and really fun, and it's challenging too, is the lead character in the show is a 13-year-old girl. And we did an exhaustive. When we read the play, it was such a wonderfully written script, and I'll tell you what, at the end of the play, it has one of the greatest moments in theater. I mean, I've been around in theater in a long time, and I'm not necessarily a really sentimental person, but at the very end of that play, I even went, aw.
So if you want to feel good.
Yeah, it really is. It's a wonderful family comedy, and the whole premise is there's the 13-year-old girl who has 160 IQ, and ever since she was a little girl, she lives with her single mother, and whenever her single mother would have a new suitor or a new beau, this girl, she has this imaginary friend who always is wearing what the lead character, he's always portraying basically the lead character of whatever book she's reading. So, you know, in one scene, he's the Great Gatsby. Another one, he's a shogun warrior, you know.
Wow.
But it's this imaginary friend that only she and the audience can see. And they use her wit and intelligence to kind of drive away these suitors and things. And then the story happens with, suddenly she has a new suitor whose name is Warren, and he's a mailman. And they think he's going to be easy pickings. And come to find out, he can go toe-to-toe with their wit and their intelligence. And it's very, very funny. And just and to have, with the banter between this 13-year-old girl who has this, 160 IQ, battling and conversing and with these little quips with her imaginary friend Randolph. It's just a lot of fun.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's kind of Harvey-esque, but to me it's a much more intelligent kind of Harvey.
Now, the dates of this production are what?
That opens on June 16th.
Okay.
And I'll tell everybody the lead character in this, we did, I think, 5 callbacks.
Right.
Started out with 12 kids, and I had decided, if I don't find the right kid for this, we're not going to do this show, because it's obviously it's the lead character,
right.
So it's very important to have somebody who can give that persona and also be able to do all the technical aspects of memorizing lines and creating a character.
Right.
And we went through this exhaustive process, and we found a wonderful girl, Olivia Waters, who lives in Valley Cruces. And so she's a local girl.
That's
and
great.
Yeah, and we had girls from as far away as Charlotte and Greensboro who came and auditioned. And
just happened to have the best up here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, now that's your first production.
That's our first production.
And your second one is?
The second one is just a crazy madcap romp. It's called The Complete History of America Abridged. And the way they describe it is 12,000 years of history in 6,000 seconds. And
wow.
That's about right. It covers everything from the Stone Age up to the present.
Cool.
And it's a lot of fun. It has a very vaudeville feel to it, because it's very fast paced and it's 3 guys that are just doing these crazy zany things, and it's the only way I can describe it is vaudeville, sometimes bawdy humor, but it's a wonderful piece. Don't know if I would bring young kids to it, but if you like something fast paced and shticky and things like that, it's a wonderful piece.
And it opens when?
That opens July 5th.
Okay. And then after that?
After that is our suspense thriller, which is called Fit to Kill. And it's a story of this husband and wife, and the husband is a chess pro.
Yeah.
And the wife has built up this exercise business into this big conglomerate, and it has videos out and things like that. And so basically the husband is living off the wife's money. And she has an idea that maybe he could be easily strayed from her, so she sends in another woman to kind of test that, and in the end, people die. But the funny thing is, the great thing about it is even, and I wanted to do this, I consciously wanted to do this, and it just happened to work out that way for this season, is I wanted every show, even the suspense thriller, to have some humor in it. And this one really does. It's really
Funny suspense humor.
Yeah, it's not one laugh after another, but it certainly has its humor in there, especially towards the end. And it's like, you end up at the end going, what happened? But it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Now, that's the third show.
That's the third show.
And it opened when?
That opens July 28th.
Okay, and then that means you got one more.
Got one more, and that's a show titled All the King's Women, which is a show that is basically 17 women who have all in one way or another, peripherally or directly, met Elvis Presley.
Oh.
And different. I mean, it starts all the way from when he was a child.
Right.
And a lot of these stories in this are based on fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first one, as I understand it, is one of those. The very first story opens up with this lady who's working in a five and dime. You know, back there, the old five and dimes that they had.
I do remember those.
And yeah, you remember them. I don't know if anybody else does. But and this mother brings in her 10-year-old boy, and it's his birthday, and he wants a BB gun, and the mother kind of gets the clerk to understand that she doesn't want her boy to have a BB gun. So the clerk starts looking around and finds this guitar and starts talking about this guitar. And the boy finally buys the guitar, and that boy was Elvis Presley, and that was how he, came about getting his first guitar and getting involved in music.
Does this production have a lot of music in it?
It really no, it doesn't.
Really?
No, it's not this. It's not a story of Elvis's life following Elvis. It's a story of these people who have been a part of his life, either on a very peripheral sense or a very direct and intimate sense, and it's a neat take on it. It's not, like I said, it's not your typical Elvis show that has somebody playing Elvis throughout the whole thing. It's actually the story of Elvis, but told by people who had their own opinions and own ideas of who he was. One of the funniest ones, and it's very funny too. One of the funniest ones in there is this woman who's in a grocery store late at night, and she goes in and she's pregnant and she's having a craving for bananas, and there's one thing of bananas sitting on this rack, and she reaches for it, and about the same time this other guy who's got these dark glasses on, and she's scared to death, this guy, because she's in kind of this seedy neighborhood, and it's late at night, and she's thinking, oh my gosh, this guy's he's gonna fight me over my bananas, and come to find out it's Elvis Presley who had came in to get the bananas. And so there's this big scene of her thinking that he's this thug because he's in disguise. And then when he comes out of disguise, obviously she takes on a whole different outlook on it. And so, but it's a lot of fun. It's a fun show. All of them are fun.
I can't wait. So how do I get tickets?
You could either, if you want season tickets, you can give us a call at 828-414-1844. And the good thing about season tickets are, our prices are already low, but it's cheaper when you get season tickets.
Right, of course.
And you also get reserved seating with season tickets.
You become a VIP.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want single show tickets, those are all general admission tickets. And those you can get by going to our website, and you could either click on the little icon there and you could order your tickets directly online, or you can give us a call.
Okay.
And tickets, single season tickets or single show tickets are $17 for adults, $15 for seniors and students, and $10 for kids 15 and under, which you're going to be hard pressed to find a professional theater that has those kind of prices.
Seriously.
And then our season tickets for adults are $60, and for seniors it's $52.
So there's a savings there.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely,
great.
yeah.
Not to mention you can count on a great summer.
Yeah,
if you buy season
absolutely,
tickets.
absolutely.
Gary, thank you so much
you
for
bet.
coming and sharing this. I'm excited about what you're doing in this
I am
community.
too.
And I hope you're equally excited and that you can't wait. You're going to pick up that phone and dial, what was the number?
828-414-1844.
Okay. Get your season tickets now. And be sure you are a big part of the arts in this community. Check our website and check your website, which is ensemblestage.com.
Right.
For this and so much more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.